Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to our webinar, How to Renew Contracts with Ease and Confidence. Well, it's the end of the year and the home stretch for our sales counterparts to close as many deals as possible so they can successfully usher out 2020. And in customer success, the end of year contract renewals hit us at the same time. We've got that responsibility and, well, pressure to retain those customers and retain the revenue. So that is a lot of pressure, and the topic of renewals can create anxiety. So today we'll show you how, with the right information and data, you can confidently engage your customers at the right time and make the renewal process a Zen-like experience. My name is Susan Rabano. I'm a Senior Customer Success Manager at Totango, and I'm delighted to welcome my guest, Kunal Kapur, the Senior Director of Account Management for Jobvite. Welcome, Kunal. Please tell us about your company and your role.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me here today, Susan, and to the Tatango team. Super excited to be here today to talk about renewals and how we're partnering with Tatango to deliver a fantastic customer experience. Just as a short introduction, I'm a senior director of account management at Jobvite. I oversee kind of all aspects and segments of the business, so enterprise, mid-market, and SMB as well. And I'm specifically focused on renewals and account management and sales opportunities within our customer base.
Fantastic. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the company?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to give you a quick introduction on who Jobvite is. For those of you on the line, I'll keep this kind of short and sweet, but Jobvite is a SaaS technology platform delivering a full suite of talent acquisition products. Our mission is to help people and companies grow. We have over 300 employees, headquartered mostly in Indianapolis, but we have employees all over the US. For example, I'm based in New Jersey, right outside the New York City area, but we have employees in the UK and in India as well. Our senior leadership team at the bottom left there is made up of Aman Brar, who's our CEO, Peter Clare, our SVP of Operations, and Jared Adams here, who's the SVP of Product and Engineering. We have primarily focused on a few specific key industries, as you can see on the screen here. We have a significant customer base in financial services, healthcare, technology, and marketing, and we partner and work with all sorts of different organizations. So on the partner side, lots of different HCM providers out there like ADP, Oracle, Glassdoor, Indeed, companies that most of you probably heard of. And then our customer base is pretty wide ranging across the segments there. So Hulu, which I'm sure many folks on the line have been spending a lot of time watching these days, as one of our customers, but Ingram Micro, Dollar Shave Club, our other customers that we work with today. Just some cool stats over here at the bottom right. We have over 2,000 customers, 400,000 live job roles available on our platform at any given moment in time, and 2.5 million applicants come through our platform per month. So a pretty large platform there.
That's amazing.
So this is just another brief overview, but Jobvite has actually gone through a pretty big transformation over the past 20 or so months. We've grown through acquisition, so we're kind of very familiar with the process of mergers and acquisitions and incorporating new teams and many times new SKUs as well into the company. So as you can hear on the slides, in January 2019, our investment partners at K1 Investment Management, it's a private equity company based in California, along with the leaders of these 4 companies, saw an opportunity to disrupt the talent acquisition space by bringing together these 4 companies to develop the first talent acquisition focused platform out there. So we're first to the market to offer a wide range of products to help organizations of all sizes recruit and find the best talent that they possibly can.
Awesome. Well, it's a great product, and you guys have been our long-standing customers, and we really appreciate your business and your partnership. So, why did you choose to partner with Tatango?
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Susan. I mean, I think our main reasons for partnering with Tatango were is that Tatango enables me and my team to deliver a fantastic customer experience. Right. That's what we really want to do. That's what actually helps our conversation today around renewals, also upsells and cross sells and things like that as well. But it helps us focus our efforts on the most important projects, customers, and the most important tasks at hand that our team needs to execute on at any given moment in time. All the while, what's fantastic is that it's able to Tatango's able to help me and my leadership teams quickly report on key metrics and outcomes we're expecting to deliver a fantastic customer experience. So it helps our field teams actually manage their books of business and portfolios, while also helping our leadership team keep a pulse on the trends and metrics and key outcomes that we're expecting for our customers to be successful.
Great. Well, thank you for that. So let's take a look here at our expected outcomes today. We want to first cover the 5 W's of renewals, and then continue with clarities. What are the leading indicators to watch for in order to succeed with your renewal? And ease of automation. So how to eliminate that ambiguity and stress using process automation. And we're going to spend extra time with Q&A today, because I know that we've got, actually from the polls, I can see we've got a nice representation of customers. We've got mostly customer success managers who are probably feeling that anxiety, as well as some leaders in sales and sales executives, and some who are still deciding. So probably some customers who are in the process of either building out their organization or maybe tweaking. And then we also have a good majority of customers in the enterprise space. We're covering represented with small and medium business sized customers, and some have about half the customers represent all of the sectors. So that tells me we've got some good leadership representation too. So let's get going. We'll begin with the basics here, and we call these the 5 W's of renewals. And so first is when. So Kunal, when do you begin the renewal process?
Yeah, so we think of the renewal process here at Jobvite as a constant process that's part of our customer journey. So we've defined what we consider meaningful interactions with our customers, and at those points, when we have those meaningful interactions with our customers, we actually want to ask them explicitly when, if we were to renew our partnership today, would you actually ultimately renew with us? So we consider the renewal process a constant pulse that we're keeping on with the customers. It shouldn't be a question at the time of renewal about if you're renewing, but instead what the process is to finalize our commercial agreement with the customer. So that's kind of the way we've been thinking about it and executing here at Jobvite.
That's great. That's such an important message too, is that to always be talking about it, right? And how do you segment the renewals so that you've got the right resource in place? I know that's a very big question to answer, but what are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've segmented our teams here at Jobvite, and I've seen many different flavors of this over
Hmm.
my time in account management and customer success. But currently we segment our customers based on their market segment and their spend with us as well. So we make sure that that our mid-market and enterprise teams are focused on making sure that they're in touch with the customers, running quarterly business reviews, for example, and kind of executing on those big, meaningful interactions that we have with them face to face, or these days over Zoom and video. And then for our SMB business, we have more of a digital or a tech touch initiative there. All of our contracts are annual agreements, and so we do inform our customers about their upcoming renewals in the SMB space, and how they will be automatically renewed. We give them ample time to make the decision. So if they decide to renew with us, that's fantastic. They can give us the thumbs up. If they decide not to, they can simply email us. We make that really simple for them. And then on the flip side of it, we also offer them the ability to evolve with us. So if they would like to speak to an account manager to learn more about what other products that might be helpful for their business, if they're growing, or just need more from their recruiting partner, then we set them up with the appropriate team member to do that.
That's great. And Kunal, who is the right resource internally? That's the other big question that a lot of people want to know about, and internally as well as with the stakeholders to engage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this question changes based on your organization size, right? And also how your business is run and what your capabilities are, what your your revenue model is, and what your company goals and plans are. I've worked at organizations where the customer success manager runs the renewal, runs any upsell and cross sell as well, and I've led teams doing that. In the environment that I'm in today at Jobvite, we actually have a separate success manager and account manager. The success manager is mainly focused on delivering outcomes for the customer based on our partnership with the customer. So whatever they've purchased, making sure that the customer is receiving value from that. And these are very much value-based outcomes. But then when it comes to the commercial partnership, so renewals and cross sells and upsells and terms of our agreement and the negotiating that goes behind all of that, that's led by the account management team.
Great. Well, and at Totango, I'm an individual contributor, a CSM, and CSMs, we lead the process, but we also partner with our account executives too through the process. So sometimes at the stakeholder level, at the customer level, the processes are really complex, and so that's where pulling the original salesperson in to help navigate that is important. So yeah, thank you for that. That was a great answer. So then the next question takes us to what? So what do you know about the likelihood of them renewing? And I know for me, I look at the health, I look at the history to determine the likelihood, and that's where the data comes into play. But Kunal, you've got something kind of special and unique that you're starting with the RNPS. Would you like to tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think Susan, it's really, really important that when you're talking about what and what do you know about the likelihood about the customer renewing, like you said, the data, their usage, the value they've received, right? And that could be return on investment. That could be, in our business, how many hires do we help them get? If you're in a different business, you're looking at what's the value you're bringing to the end user there, and making sure that that's front and center as part of your conversation. We are actually on the verge of launching a pretty interesting new concept here called Renewal NPS. So I'm sure many of you have heard of NPS, Net Promoter Score surveys. How likely are you to refer us to another organization? And that NPS score is something that's a baseline to track your performance as a business to other organizations, right? Doing an apples to apples comparison with other businesses out there. But what we're actually going to endeavor on is launching renewal NPS. So how likely are you to renew your partnership with us? And we're going to start doing this quite early, actually. We're going to start doing this at the 6-month mark after a customer has started with us. So, we'll take onboarding time into consideration, and then probably a couple months after that, we will actually engage with the customer to ask them how likely they will be, and we'll actually poll them. And this will help us understand, are they getting value? Do they feel like they're getting value? And do they feel like the partnership is in a good place? And if it's not, we will react accordingly. And if it is, we will also react accordingly, and give them a high five and make sure that we're asking them to help us with references and referrals and carry them through that type of process as well.
That's great. I love that idea, and I want to use that myself. And one of the things that I would think for us as a CSM is when I have that new customer and I'm building out our engagement model and of saying, hey, Kunal, how often do you want to have a cadence and those kinds of things. I would also say that, in about 6 months, we'll take your temperature in terms of renewal so that, it's sort of expected, right, from the get-go. Awesome. And then our final W is why. So why should your customer renew with you? And so this takes us back to the very start, right? Why did they sign? Why did they sign up with you? What kind of value were they expecting? And so at this point, you will have known why they signed. So did we deliver on our promise of value? And what value are they receiving? Are they saving time, money, or both? And another thing to consider is how is the competition stacking up to you? How are you stacking up to the competition? So were there some differentiators in the beginning that were the reasons why they chose you? And do those still matter today? Today's climate is very different. So you want to be checking with the customer all along to find out that those still matter, those same differences. So then is your solution, is everyone getting value from the solution? And so much so that they've really incorporated it into their everyday processes. So those are some of the whys. I think they're really important. So thank you, Kunal, for your great insight and guidance there. So the 5 W's are a way to keep the process simple and to be clear about what's important to your customer. So let's dive deeper into how we gain clarity. What leading indicators and signals correlate with renewals? Well, we look at the strength of the customer partnership. And so we are also, of course, we'll look at metrics. So taking a look at the signals of the customer partnership, we can find these signals in Totango's success blocks. And I'll explain what success blocks are to those of you who are unfamiliar. These are modules within Totango that our customers use to define the goals and processes for each stage of the customer journey. So we've got an onboarding success block, adoption, and of course, renewals. And we also use success blocks to measure goals and KPIs for initiatives. So an initiative such as voice of the customer and stakeholder engagement. Stakeholder engagement is one of the newer success blocks. If you haven't adopted any of our success blocks yet, you may want to go to our marketplace and you can just load whatever success blocks you want to start with. Customer success renewals is there, and then of course stakeholder engagement. So let's take a look here. We can see this is the stakeholder engagement scorecard, and we can see here the strength of the partnership. And what I love about this is that we're taking we're assigning metrics to the customer's actions. So they're actions really are speaking louder than their words. And as a CSM, I often have happy ears. I think everything's fine if the customer and I have a nice conversation. But really, let's dive in and see what the truth is. Is my customer keeping their scheduled meetings? Are they collaborating? Have they, did we at the onset create a mutual success plan? Which you can do that within Tatango or outside of Tatango. And are we visiting that success plan regularly to see how we're meeting our partnership goals? And then is my customer participating in the events and the things that we're doing to help them get more value? Kunal, this would be a great place for you to measure your RNPS, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually our plan, right?
Uh-huh.
We actually use this dashboard pretty excessively for our management and leadership teams. So this is a very helpful a piece here that our reps both use and our leadership teams use before they need to jump on the line with a customer. And then, we'll be planning to put our NPS into this exact area so that, when you see the customer's profile, you actually know exactly what their feelings are about you.
That's great. I love that. So we've got the leading indicators of the relationship and the partnership, and now let's take a look at the metrics. Now, I'm sure all of you have your own sort of metrics that you're using, and so here's just a glance at some of the things like usage, logins, um, feature adoption. Are your customers using your most important high value features within your product? So those things, those are definitely worth pulling in. And in terms of ease, we want to eliminate that ambiguity, right? And the way you do that is by bringing in automation. And so we've got our toolbox, that success block, we call our toolbox as well. And so we've got scorecards, as you've seen, that show the goals and the KPIs. We've also got success plays, and these are automated tasks that define the process and move the process from start to finish. And within that, we've got life cycle stages where we can measure, is this renewal at risk? And track and follow the tasks that will get us out of that risk problem. And then accentuating the positives with our campaigns. So let me just give you a quick glance. So you've seen the scorecard here. This is what our renewal scorecard looks like, this dashboard. It's super helpful. And Kunal, I know you've been a huge proponent of how you mentioned something about the leadership using this.
Yeah, absolutely. The scorecard is actually pretty amazing. So we have our teams split up here by, like I mentioned earlier, small and medium business, and then mid-market, and then enterprise, and even what we consider a large enterprise. So some of the biggest organizations out there. And this scorecard actually really helps us understand how we're doing in that space. And we have leaders aligned with each one of those segments, so they each have their own scorecard. And what's actually really fantastic is that this dashboard allows us to kind of step back and take a holistic view on some of our key metrics that we want to evaluate for our customers to help us focus our efforts in the right way. And again, it's easy to sometimes basically chase the squirrel, as I like to say. So the first thing that comes in the inbox, and you go chasing after that, and then the next thing comes and you chase that, and the next thing comes and you chase that. This really gives us an opportunity to live and breathe the expectations of what we really need to be focused on as an organization. So scorecards are the success block scorecard has been very instrumental in us to be able to run programs and effectively manage our teams and our individual contributors in a way that allows them to focus on the right tasks at hand.
Great. And just a quick call out to this toggle. So to the CSMs, when you look at the scorecard, you can click on My, and you can see your portfolio in these same metrics. So it's pretty awesome. And then here is what the success plays look like. And so we're not going to dig into them specifically, but just know that the playbook of the renewal playbook has a list of tasks, and they show up in your CSM's inbox. You can assign to a CSM or another member of the account team. So it really creates that one checklist of everything. And so that, for me, eliminates the stress. And then campaigns are another component, another tool in the toolbox, and campaigns can be used to run those auto renewals. They can be used to accentuate those high value features that are being used by your customers, so that you're reinforcing the value they're receiving. You can send what we call success beats that actually highlight those wins. So that is that's our main toolbox that I wanted to show you. And I know we've covered quite a bit in a short amount of time, but we'll get to some questions very quickly. So I'll just cover briefly the takeaways. And Kunal, you gave so much information, it's hard to summarize it so quickly, but be direct, right? Start your conversations from the very onset, the beginning of your relationship with your customer, and try using, creating that renewal NPS. That's awesome. And then remember those 5 W's for your organization as well as for your individual customers. Automate for consistency, ease, and confidence. Let Totango or your automation do the work for you, so that you can just stay on task and not get caught chasing squirrels. Let the processes help you manage and act on the data daily too, so that there are no surprises in changes in the usage. And then your partnership goes both ways. Establish your goals up front, build those mutual or outcome success plans with your customers, and you should not have any sort of stress or surprise decisions. So we'll open it up for questions, and while you're jotting your questions, if you haven't already, please jot them in the Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen. And I'm going to show you briefly that we do have a fabulous free community edition, and you get 3 free users or less. And if you want to sign up, go to tatango.com/sign up. And then we have our next webinar is aligning customer data and teams with Zoe, and our Senior Vice President of Product at Tatango, Ravit Danino, is going to talk about how Zoe allows easy access to customer data, enabling the whole organization to participate in the success of the customer. So let's go ahead and open it up for questions. So I will read the first question for you. Kunal says that the means of communications are constantly changing. What do you recommend in today's climate? Email, phone call, web? What's most effective?
I'd say that you have to look at your customer base. I think for us, ours is very much phone call / web meetings here at Jobvite, and that's most of the experience that I've had in my past working in B2B SaaS. That's been our main means of communication. So in person as much as possible. Obviously with COVID these days, that's not possible. So we do try to get on video and make it a personable relationship as much as possible with our customers. Obviously after that, you can, if you've got a high volume of customers that are paying low revenue, for example, email is totally reasonable and fine. We even have a small SMB, our small to medium business offering here at Jobvite, and we kick off our renewal messaging to them via email 75 to 90 days in advance of their renewal date. And in that email, they have the ability to book a meeting with an account manager in case they want to discuss the renewal or discuss purchasing other products, or even discuss terminating with us because they've gone through business changes that are impacted them too greatly.
So the renewal NPS, the customer wants to know, who are you sending the survey to?
Great question. So this is, we're still in the planning phases of this. So we're not doing this just yet, but we are going to do this to key stakeholders within our customer base, and we are basically tracking the contact type, what their role is at the organization, users, if they are decision makers or key stakeholders to the decision about continuing their partnership with us, we'll ask them. But mainly the RNPS is meant to be for people who are the decision makers or key stakeholders in the decision to continue their partnership with us.
Okay, great. And then I want to ask you, we had a question come in earlier about legacy customers. So if you've got a legacy customer that has a long-standing contract where maybe they got a super good price way back when, how do you convert them to today's world?
Yeah, I can empathize with that one. We've had lots, as you saw earlier, we've had a bunch of acquisitions throughout the past 20 months or so, and we actually just acquired another company recently as well. So legacy SKUs concept is very much in existence at our organization today. What we do is we've created a new pricing model, new pricing and bundling package here, and what we're trying to do is convert our customers to that new packaging. That said, we are completely honoring our customers as well if they are not bought into the new packaging. And then what we'll do is we'll carry them into our new customer journey, which is being helped very much so by the Tatango platform, so that we can actually show them more value and why they should consider moving to the new models that we have, which are meant to specifically give them more features and functionality to succeed.
Awesome. Okay, great. And then let's see, how do you differ your renewal strategies based on NPS responses received? Maybe any NPS, not just the RNPS. So
Yeah, I mean, we definitely take NPS into consideration for our customers. So if we're just getting nothing but glowing reviews from them, we actually show it to them. We tell our key business stakeholders during a business review, like, "Hey, look, we got these 5 responses from your team here," and it's all rainbows and unicorns, if you will. And then the times when we actually have negative NPS coming in, which obviously happens. We have almost 2,000 customers. That definitely happens. We actually bring that to their attention as well. So we take the NPS into consideration based on when it comes to the renewal. We take that into consideration based on what type of pricing we can offer them, and say, hey, look, we really want to improve this number here. We think you're getting more value than what these numbers are reflecting, or we think you're actually getting this type of value. We want to change that for you. We want to change that relationship and make it better for you. So let's work on that. And for those customers, we'll do we won't increase their prices excessively or something like that, right? We'll just make sure we're being as fair as possible based on the historic relationship.
yeah. And then I know we're a little over on time, but there is one other question that's specifically directed to you. And how do you, Kunal, approach renewal when you review the data and determine that the customer has not been receiving much value from the platform, i.e. the customer has not had many hires or is not using the platform frequently?
Yeah, I do try to paint as much good things as possible that are happening, even if those good things are simply we're delivering for you, right? I do like to bring up ideas to the customers as well to look at other aspects and reasons why the performance might not be as great as it is. Is it adoption related? Like, are the users at their organization simply not using the platform enough? Do they not understand the platform enough? Do they not understand the value that it's going to bring to them? So we do address it pretty much head on with our customers. I think it's never worked for me in the past, and I have done it. It's never worked for me in the past to brush that one under the rug and just avoid
Mhm.
it, because the reality is that the customer will likely just leave you anyways, right? And if you're lucky, they'll stay because you're in their budget or something. But at some point they will leave, and they should be marked as a high risk customer.
Yeah, awesome. Well, and this kind of goes to listening to your customers. So if you suspect that something's not quite right with the customer, um, then listen to your intuition and that's how you stay in sync. Ask those questions, the harder questions up front, or it's much easier than stressing about it over a long period of time, hoping that maybe they'll change their mind. So get it out front. And so, well, I wish we could stay on for another hour, but it's been so wonderful to hear from you, Kunal. Thank you so much for being an awesome partner of Tatango and for imparting your experience and wisdom to our customers online. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we'll be sending out a recording soon. And thanks again.
Yeah, and thanks, Susan, for having me, and to the Tatango team, and also thank you to the audience for your really thoughtful questions today.
Awesome. All right. Take care. Bye bye.